Hi y'all, this is Joe at Joe and Coaching, and for today's podcast and episode, I am talking about my whole entire podcast process, how I plan and record my podcast episodes. So we have a good old list on the piece of paper here, and let's dive right in. I keep a running list of podcast episode ideas on my iPhone, and I just keep them in the notes app. I want the least amount of resistance for getting into where I plan on keeping my ideas. So the fastest, easiest way for me is the notes button. And so that is where I keep all of my ideas. Sometimes I'm really good and I keep them all in the same list. Sometimes I just hit the new button and then there are like 20 different ones, and so I have to go through my phone, but not the end of the world as long as I don't lose my phone. Sometimes I have to brainstorm the day before or the day of. So like today I had 3-ish ideas and I grew my list to pretty close to 12, I believe. And I bounced off some ideas with my husband and my marketing assistant, and that helped round out my list. If I'm really desperate, I'll go to ChatGPT and I will give it some ideas and ask it to give me some more ideas. I think I got one of these ideas for today, so I'll sit down in this blue shirt and all of these will be batch recorded the same day. So it's all about having that list of ideas ready for me when it comes time to sit down and record, so I am not wasting time. When I have time to record, I typically don't have a lot of time. So today, this is later on the list, but today I have, 2 to 3 hours to record, and I spent so much time scripting, which I don't normally do, so that was new for me. So you'll see me look at my notes today more than normal if you're watching the podcast. So the second thing I do is I go to the computer, and this is exactly what I did today. So I typed out my whole entire process today for you for today's batch recording session. I sit down on my computer, I closed out every single window that was open, I made sure I had no alerts on, and then I opened a new note tab, like a new, note document, and I transferred over every single idea I wanted to use today, and I bullet planned every single one of them. So that's kind of my scripting process, is bullet planning. My strongest suit is blogging. I am a writer. I love to write. So you'll see I'm a little not super comfortable on camera sometimes, and it's because my strongest suit, I don't even know what to say to y'all right now, but just I'm really good at writing. So sometimes it's going to be full sentences, but I try my hardest to bullet point it out because I want to talk to you like free flow and just give you like my current state and my current ideas. So I try not to do this process too far in advance because I feel like my emotions change, my day-to-day changes, like a lot happens every single day in my life that affects how I feel about a certain thing. And so I like to give you the most updated experience and perspective, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So after I'm scripting, so I will write out my talking points. I will then transfer them to the iPad. So this is a handy dandy iPad. I bought this for my husband. It's probably like a model old, but I still think it's pretty nice. I bought it for my husband. I got him like a cute, like a leather case for it, and I have since stolen it, but it has like our Apple ID for both of us on here, so I do not have access to the things on my iPhone or my laptop, and so I transfer them over. So I send myself a message of this actual file. And then after that, so before or after that process, I will shower, dry my hair, do my makeup, straighten my hair. Obviously I get dressed, and then I head up to the studio office that I have set up like this pretty much all the time. I'm actually not working in here, I'm just recording in here lately. I like to be close to my family, and so the original office, so this is a bedroom, this is like the 5th bedroom in our house. My original office I'm like OCD, there's a piece of hair hanging. The original office in this house, I turned into a closet. So it's kind of right below us. It's like you walk into the house and you turn right. There's a door there. It does not open anymore. We put like a wall there. So technically the door opens, but there's a wall there, and what you see is a curtain. So we have this, anyways, it's a permanent wall that can be taken down. It's just plywood that's painted to look like the room on the other side. Long story short, I turned the existing office for this house into a closet. So it has like big open space, so I just put a table in there, and I've been using my closet as my workspace, so I'm close to my family, and there's a couple doors from preventing my kids from getting to me, and not a lot of noise comes through. So I think the main reason why I'm using it is because I don't want to mess up this office, and I like having everything set up as a recording studio. So maybe one day I'll have more than one office, but for now I'm working out of my closet. So I will come up here as soon as I'm ready. Today I got ready before I did everything, but most of the time it's nice to have all of this done and prepared the day before, and then just shower and get ready and sit down and record. But the cool thing about doing it back to back is so much of this is fresh on my mind. I am horrible at memorizing information, and that's why I lean on notes. So if you're listening to this only, like, you'll never know how much I'm looking down at my notes. But I also want these to sit on YouTube, so you will see me on looking down at my notes, which I just had to come to accept that that's my process and that's what works best for me, and that's how I'm able to deliver at my highest level. But I congratulate anyone that doesn't have to do the process like me. I love it if there are people out there that can look at the camera and talk 100% without referencing anything. I have done some videos like that, but I feel like I want to deliver my best for y'all, and my best is writing. And so that's why I'm going to reference things I've written so much. And I think I'll find an audience that's okay with that, and that's just the direction I'm going to lean in because it works best for me. So up in my studio, then I set up the tripod. So I had taken this with me, so I physically had to set it up. Sometimes I don't have to, but I plug in, I just realized I forgot my microphone. So this very first video is not going to be recorded on the microphone. So it's plugged into my phone, and then I don't know if it will work. But then I just turn on this little handy dandy thing, and it will probably work. So maybe it changed for y'all, but then I'll just put it there, and now my necklace is all messed up. But let's see, I typically have to put my necklace inside, and then I just hook it on. So hopefully that worked. Hopefully you can hear me. So sorry if the audio sounds cruddy. No one's here, and I have the dogs like outside, so hopefully the sound worked just fine. So hair, makeup, head up to the office. So tripod is here with my camera on it, which is my phone, and then the receiver is already there. I set up two softbox, like light boxes, and I think that's pretty much it. Like, I make sure I'm centered real well. I already did it, but I'll take a photo of myself before or after. If I don't do it before, I'll typically forget. So that's something I learned, is definitely sit down and take a photo before. Luckily, the only time I've forgotten was when I was doing Joe and Co footage or recordings or whatnot. So the light is so different today, can y'all tell? It's sunlight, and I had to close the curtain, but it's so bright. But anyways, so after that, then I get to work. So this is me actually working. So then post-production is very minimal. I take the video file one by one. I take it into the platform VLLO, and then so that is an app on my phone, and I edit the beginning out where I press the button, and sometimes I'll sit here, sometimes I'll stutter, sometimes I'll have to restart. So I edit out the beginning, and then I sometimes make a dumb face at the end, like almost every single time. So I sometimes have to edit the dumb face out, but I feel like my cute little style is, and this is just me, and I probably shouldn't have said it out loud, but I like hitting the off button. I think that's cute, so I'm leaving that in there. It's kind of like where people do that number on the camera. So anyways, I think we should all have our own style, and that was just something that I don't know why, I just couldn't edit it out, so I've left it in every single video, and now it's my thing. So I talk about editing the stupid face out. Let's see. And then I throw this saved filter that I call, like, my office is too bright, and it's not that bad anymore. Like, I think I figured it out, but what I love about it is it changes the contrast, so the colors are darker, so the black's more black, the blue is more blue. Like, it will make my eyes pop a little bit. I like throwing a filter on, and I'll also edit the photo in Lightroom that I used for the thumbnail. So I do that editing process. I typically do this while watching a show, a movie, the news, or laying in bed about to go to sleep. I then bulk upload all of them. So I edit all of them and then I upload them all at the same time to YouTube. I typically just call them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I don't have a lot, like today I'll probably have a lot and I'll just upload them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I do have everything like saved in my phone, so I might copy and paste. I should copy and paste the titles. That way it will save me more time. So that's probably what I'll do, is just copy and paste each title and upload it. But I will I'll bulk upload them and I'll leave my phone on the charger all night with the screen on YouTube and let them all upload. So then by morning, all 10 or whatnot are already uploaded. So today I think I'll have 14 or 15. That's my goal. I didn't go back through and count, but that was my goal from my idea list, was to have, I should have about 3 weeks worth of content from today's sit down bulk batch recording session. So post production is very minimal. I typically ask my assistant to fix all the descriptions, so she'll go and copy and paste an old description and modify it a little bit. Sometimes I have to go in and edit what she writes because her first language isn't English, but most of the time I just leave it. It's not the end of the world if it's not perfect. I do like to write blog posts for every single podcast and YouTube video. I didn't do it as much in December, but in November I was really religious about it. I had a couple weeks, I've talked about this before, I have anemia and I've been struggling a lot with energy levels, and I think I have it figured out. I take iron pill and vitamin C morning, noon, and night pretty much. If you drink caffeine, that pretty much makes it so you're only absorbing 30 to 40% of the iron from your body or from your food or your supplements. And so if I'm smart about it, I'll sandwich the caffeine with the iron pills, but you only have 2 hours. So if you are iron deficient, you have to wait 2 hours on either side of caffeine intake to be able to absorb 100% of iron. So anyways, so that's what I've been dealing with. And so in December, I didn't make as many blog posts. A lot of my videos were super similar. I felt like I didn't elaborate on a lot of different topics in December. And so I didn't write a lot of blog posts when I did sit down. So I did sit down like 5 days ago and write 3 blog posts. And then I wrote some on JoyShalacy.com. I just feel like I've had a lot of transition, a lot of change, definitely in the last year, but even more recently with trying to figure out from like summer, like all summer, I felt like I was dying and I still feel that way sometimes, but it's way less often. And I'm able to introduce like certain things back into my diet. So that's been really cool. It was really depressing being on this like strict elimination diet. And I really think it was just my iron levels were so low, it was wreaking like crazy havoc on my body and my life. So anyways, we're on the other side of that, so you'll see more blog posts. Little TMI, but you know that's kind of how I do it around here. So the assistant will do the description. Sometimes I do the thumbnails, sometimes she does them. And then, but before I'm leaving my office, I make sure to take that photo. I'll send it to her, that way she has it. So for the munch, she does all of my munch now. I was doing it myself, but because December was so hard on me, I got behind on it, and then I was just like, hey, can you do it for me? And so I've just been letting her do it. So I've just like crossed my fingers that they're good. I'm super, super crazy picky. And that's one big thing for me, is just like having to let go and not being crazy picky. Like it's that whole saying, everyone says it, done is better than, is it done is better than not done? I don't know. Done is better than perfect. I don't know. I'm somewhere in the middle where I still want things to be perfect, but I definitely want them done. And so I've leaned into my virtual assistant to help me with all that. So she'll upload the video into Munch, which is just getmunch.com, and it can create reels or shorts, or it can create any type of short form content from the long form content. So that's all it's doing. She'll upload them as shorts, Instagram reels, Pinterest videos. We call this process the content syndication process, and it includes a lot more steps. It's going to go to a lot more places. And then today I asked her to take every single video, like podcast, and upload it as a blog post like backdate it so it's not showing up on my blog button feed, like the blog button on my website, so you're not seeing a whole bunch of YouTube videos. But I do want to make sure that I am capturing the SEO directly to my website and just like putting more like pieces of content out there, more chances for people to see me. And so I have her over the next few days, I just told her to do it, over the next few days, taking every single podcast episode that's sitting on YouTube and embedding it into a blog post. I was writing, I haven't been religious about this. I was writing a blog post the morning before the podcast goes live. That's what I did in November. And so I would write out the blog post and then I would put the video at the bottom, but they would have different titles. And so I'm fine with doing that. I do still want a blog post for every single video if it's relevant, like if it makes sense. But I still like changing the title because when I'm writing it, I'm in a different mindset than when I recorded. So I want to make sure like I'm giving like maximum value. And if I have new ideas or new insight, I want to include those in the blog post. And so I'm okay if there's like 2 pieces of content with kind of the same thing. But the blog post is juicier. Like the blog post is always juicier because I'm able to like sit and my thoughts are able to marinate, and I think the blog post always ends up being better. So no big deal that we have 2 pieces of content, very, very similar in title, because they won't be 100% similar in content. So I have her doing that. I really think content syndication is like one of the most important parts of like my Joe & Co business and eventually my Joe & Coaching business. Is just putting it everywhere, meeting the ideal, like my ideal audience or dream client exactly where they're at. And so content syndication is big for us right now. Let's see. I also have to upload the video I created directly into Spotify for podcasters, and then that is what syndicates it to all of the podcasting platforms. So I personally record all of my podcasts as a video. I was having trouble with Spotify for podcasters over Christmas, and it uploaded like 3 videos all on the same day instead of over a 6-day period, which was really frustrating because it looks like I didn't upload for 6 days and then bulk uploaded. So I did sit down with my like laptop next to me and talk out loud and record a podcast episode explaining those inconsistencies. But every single podcast I've created is sitting as a video on YouTube and on the Spotify platform, which syndicates and can be watched on Spotify as a video or listened to on any of the other platforms. So it's also being syndicated to Apple Podcasts. And so my assistant will market the whole entire podcast. She'll munch the videos. She'll market like when we publish the podcast. And then we're like I don't know how far behind, but we're like a week or 2 behind on munches, maybe even farther, because we're getting 7 or 8 munches, like the tiny short form videos from the long form video. And those are going up right now, I think 2 a day. So she'll ask me what I want, and I just decided like, oh, let's do 2 a day. I do plan on getting back to more short form content, but that's obviously not what this video is for. So this was how I plan to record my podcast episodes. So this one's not necessarily for realtors. I have if you've been listening from the beginning, you'll know how much I love helping everyone, and my profession just so happens to be real estate. I'm a broker and realtor here out in the Houston suburbs. So I grew this business from 300 to 900K in just a few years, and I was able to have 2 years in a row over 750K. So again, this is Joe with Joe & Coaching. If you are looking for a mentor or someone to help you get ready for the new year, I have 2 things that I'm offering right now. If you look down below, I have the link to the mentorship. This is available for real estate agents or anyone looking for marketing help. My specialties is omnipresence marketing. I'm a builder. I love to build online presence online, and I create more content than anyone else I know in the real estate industry, with maybe Ryan Serhant as someone that's probably creating more content than me. but I love what I do and I'm really happy to be here. The other thing I have are called wake up calls, and those are really affordable sessions where we get to go back and forth with everything you're experiencing and going through right now, and then I can help you put together a plan for 2024. So I really have a lot to offer, and I'm really excited that you're here with me. I think this will go up December 29th, which is today. So it's still technically December, but this will wrap out well, actually, we'll still have one more. So we have 2 episodes this year, so I'm going to throw up 2 more episodes, but most likely you're listening to this in 2024, and most likely it's January, and I would love to help you, and I love y'all. I hope you have a good day. Don't make a stupid face, Jordan. Bye, y'all.